Good damn morning, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Make sure you get your green gear 25% off. Promo code Jericho1, all caps, and the number 1. I got three crazy ass things to talk about. Number 1, I'll put a link in the description box to 2 of these 3 topics. And I don't know if you've seen this, but Joe Biden was in Texas, I guess visiting the damage from that crazy ass winter weather storm, whatever you want to call it. And he's on the tarmac and he's talking, and classic Biden's pervertus, classic mushmouth, Werther's original, hey, I don't want to go to this mall. Take me to my favorite mall. That guy. This might be his worst one yet. Not to say that it won't be outdone. I'm just saying this might be his worst one yet. Shout out to my man, Tom. He's in school right now. Go Navy. He sent me this clip, and he appears to have a script. I don't know if it's word for word what he's going to say. Maybe it's just some bullet points. But he has paper in front of him with information on it. So he's talking, and he says, I want to thank Shirley Jackson Lee, and it's actually Sheila Jackson Lee. She's the same dummy who said an AR weighs 10 pounds and that it shoots 50 caliber bullets. Now, I was just shooting the other day with my man DJ out in that BLM land, the Bureau of Land Management, and he brought his AR, and I held it and I shot it a few times, nowhere near 10 pounds. If you know anything about guns, for anybody to say that an AR-15 shoots 50 caliber rounds, that shit is laughable. That's like me telling you cat shit tastes like ice cream. That is fucking ridiculous. Cat shit tastes way better. But you see what I mean. That is the level of stupidity you're dealing with these politicians. Anyway, so he's thanking her, calls her Shirley. Shirley, you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. What movie is that from? Classic. I tried to show my kids, they didn't like it. Whatever. So, he's naming all these politicians, these representatives from Texas and everything. And he says, Al Green. Now, he said Representative Al Green. Now, of course, there is a Representative Al Green from Texas, but we all know it's not too far-fetched that Biden's pervertus would actually thank the singer Al Green. That's the sad part. So he's like, wait, what was I saying? Like, he stops for a few beats. He's like, wait, I'm getting lost here. And he starts fumbling through his notes, and then he gets back on track, or his version of getting back on track. And I'm like, I've never seen this from a president. Damn an American president. I've never seen this from another leader. This level of senility. Or is it acting? Is he laying the groundwork for their 25th Amendment? Remember, they were pushing that shit in October. They were putting it out there. They try to use it on Trump, but they're floating it out there. So when they try to use it on Biden's pervertus, this won't be our first time hearing it. And I'd be like, what do you mean? We were talking about the 25th Amendment months ago. No, this isn't something we're trying to do as a power grab to enact the next phase of our plan. So either he is this mushmouth, lost old man, grandpa in chief, or this is the groundwork for the 25th Amendment. I don't know how tinfoil hat that is, but wait till you see this damn footage. It is sad and it's scary that someone like that has the keys to the fucking city, so to speak. They were even talking about him giving up sole control over the nukes. They wanted Kamala the Ugandan nightmare and David Lopan, a.k.a. Nancy Pelosi, the liver-spotted demon. They wanted it like a 3-way. Nancy Pelosi in a 3-way, my bad. What I mean is, They wanted the power to fire the nukes to be broken up between the three of them. I'm sorry for saying that. That was disgusting. But they want the power to be broken between the three of them so that poor old man doesn't put his shaky hand on the red button. So just check out the footage. The shit is sad and depressing. Like I said, it's probably his worst one yet. Now, again, as I've said, California, Oregon, Washington, the left coast is a petri dish for what's coming to you. So my man Capitalist Chris, I told you, him and his wife, they just had their first child. And he was telling me about the forms he had to fill out for the birth certificate. And it said male, female. Remember, this is California, so they didn't stop there. Male, female, transgender. Because, of course, the baby's old enough to make decisions. When it's 5 minutes out of the womb, it's still tripping off of all these lights and sounds, but we're supposed to call it transgender. And let me get to the next part. The worst part of this all, there's a question on there that says, who gave birth? What? You couldn't have spent that ink on something else? You wrote, who gave birth? Hey, I know this is a white t-shirt, but it's not a white coat. I'm not a doctor. But I'm going to go ahead and say, look down there. Are you kidding me? What do you think nature was doing for 9 months? Nature was, among other things, making the decision of whether this is a male or a female. Question answered. What? Who gave birth? I bet you the mom stuck her hand up like, me, the one who's discolored and barely alive. I gave birth to that kid. Me, the one whose legs were in these stirrups for 14 hours. I gave birth to that kid. Me, the one that you stuck the biggest needle I've ever seen in my lower back. I gave birth to that kid. Me, the one with the swollen feet, fingers, ankles, or anything else you want to throw in there. I'm the one who gave birth to that kid. Me, at 7 months, where the novelty of pregnancy has worn off. Get this thing out. I'm the one who gave birth. What kind of crazy ass question is that? How about the answer is the one with the vagina? That's who pushed the baby out, because she's the one with the birth canal. You know, all that stuff, all that pesky stuff that's already been taken care of. Are you kidding? Who gave birth? Ladies, if you've had kids, sound off in the comment section. You tell me who gave birth. Get the fuck, man? Oh my goodness. Where's the thing you pull on the city bus so they can stop and let you off? Wow. Anyway, so Obama, he was on this he has this podcast with Bruce Springsteen. You talk about a strange coupling of people, but him and the boss have this podcast on Spotify, and he's talking about why the talk of reparations didn't progress further during his presidency. And I'll put a link in the description box to this article. It's a different interview, but he's talking about reparations. And the interview was conducted on October 19th, 2016. So he was still president, not for much longer, but he was still president. So it's interesting to see what he said. But anyway, he says the reason that that reparations didn't progress further was because, come on guys, you know why? You know whose fault it is? He said it was because of, and I quote, white resistance, end quote. Now, he was talking about not only the politicians, but the American people. Now, in this interview that he did in 2016, he actually speaks the truth. I know. Try not to pass out. Maybe watch the rest of this video in a seated position. But he says the right thing. He tells the truth. He basically says it's unreasonable. It's impossible. He said the Germans did that after World War II. The Indians tried that. South Africans tried that. But it didn't change the outcome. It didn't change the future of the people they were targeting. It didn't help. He said he has much more faith in his ability as a politician or as a president and any other president and any other leader. He has more faith in their ability to galvanize the American people as a whole, not to single out a group. Because as I've said before, when you single out a certain group of people, it creates animosity amongst everybody else. He mentions Latinos. He says, well, they might be like, well, we're poor too. Why don't we get some money? And you might have, for example, first generation Americans of Asian descent saying, we just got here. We had nothing to do with that. He said it's impossible. It's much more possible to get everybody together to help poor children or to help the poor people of this country as a whole and not just single out a particular group. He says it's not going to happen. You're not going to get that much support to take a huge chunk of America's resources and put it towards something like that. Put it towards one group. It ain't going to happen. But now, hit the remote. Here we are. Fast forward 2021. It was because of white resistance. Not because it's a bad idea and not because too much time has gone by. Simply because of white resistance. Because if your skin is white, you cannot be passionate or caring toward another group of people. It's not possible. You want to. It's like putting two magnets together. Ugh. It just doesn't work. White skin and kindness, they don't go together. Oil and water, if you will. So that's what he's saying. But 5 years ago, going on 5 years ago, you were speaking the truth that it's an impossible feat and it shouldn't be attempted, and it hasn't been. That's why this reparations bullshit never goes beyond some talk. Where are we right now? We just finished an election cycle. What were they talking about? Reparations. What are they still talking about? Reparations. It never goes beyond talk. They're going to get a council to talk about it. We're going to get a coalition to talk about it. Senator so-and-so wants to talk about it because even they know it's bullshit and it ain't going to happen. He said the reason it worked with the Jews in Germany and why it worked with the Japanese is because there were people left who can say, that was my house there. That was my business. That's where our family heirlooms were. They were still here. Slaves aren't here anymore. And it was such a minute portion of the population that were slaves and or owned them. It's too big of a feat to find out who is who. And once you do, it'll be such a tiny portion of the population that you'll have to deal with that word. What is it again? Animosity. Drop it. It's dead. It ain't gonna happen. It should have been done back then. It wasn't. But good thing that in this country, if you work hard, you can change your situation. Don't give me the bullshit. There were too many things in place to combat discrimination and systemic racism. What do you think is going to happen now if a person of color, if a POC has legitimate evidence that they were discriminated against because of their race? What do you think is going to happen? Click, 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 upload on the internet. Whoever discriminated against them is no more. Check out the article. You can read the whole interview or just that part that talks about this particular topic. It's a good read. And it's refreshing to see somebody from the left, the far left, and Obama speaking some truth. Because all of these clowns who are out to bend us over the barrel and fuck us with or without lube at one point said the very same things that we are being persecuted for today. Close the borders, free market, less taxes, all that kind of shit. They were saying the same thing. Whatever. It's in black and white. Read the article. See the hypocrisy and the bullshit. Stop with the reparations. It ain't going to happen. All it ever is talk. Just like these stimulus checks that are supposed to be coming that keep getting passed by Congress. No shit, Congress is going to pass it. Oh, it got approved by, now we can go to them and be approved by them and then be approved by them and approved by them, and we ain't ever going to fucking see it. $1,400 is bullshit anyway because they're, what is it? $600 billion or something out of that stimulus money is for us, but it's 1.9 trillion, so where's the rest? Biggest robbery in American history, but you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Get your Jericho Green notification tone, link in the description box. Utilize the PayPal link and the Teespring link to get your green gear. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.